Cause I'm just going to pray the disbelievers going to hate Habibi, I'm just going to shake it off.
Hey Mo, how are you?
I've been well, thanks, Sheikh Itoff. How are you?
As well as I can be, adhering to these insane Islamic practices. Ted actually invited me to go out for coffee today, but I'm a little reluctant to join after our last catch-up. So far, what I've learned about Muhammad, the greatest man in history, is that he was a man who was convinced at one point he was possessed by a demon, tried repeatedly to commit suicide, admittedly delivered revelations from the devil, complained to be the victim of a magic spell which gave him delusional thoughts and false beliefs, would rob people, would assassinate people for criticizing his religion, beheaded hundreds of Jews.
Don't worry. I've done plenty of research about Islam since we last saw Ted, and I will be able to prove to him that Islam is the one true religion.
Hey Mo, hey Sheikh Itoff, how are you guys?
Not great.
We've been well, thanks, Ted. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. I've actually been reading the Old Testament. I'm currently up to the Song of Solomon.
Well, Ted, you're not going to believe this, but since we last caught up, I've been doing some extensive research.
I highly doubt that you have.
And I've actually found the proof that Islam is the one true religion, as our beloved prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, is actually prophesied in the Old Testament.
You mean the guy that often had semen all over his clothes and would get his child bride to scrape it off?
Often had semen all over his clothes, which he would then get his 9-year-old child bride to scrape off. He would then head off to the mosque for prayer with water spots still visible.
Ha ha ha, yeah, that's the guy.
Oh yeah, and whereabouts is Muhammad mentioned in the Old Testament, Mo?
Well, funny enough, Ted, in the book you are currently reading, Song of Solomon, chapter number 5, verse number 16. You just won't be able to tell because you don't speak Hebrew.
May I ask how you came to this conclusion, Mo?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I did a lot of my own research.
Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is also mentioned by name in the Old Testament.
And concluded, Muhammad is right there in chapter 5, verse number 16 of Song of Solomon.
The original name of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is there in the Old Testament, Song of Solomon, chapter number 5, verse number 16. Hikko mamitakim, vikullu Muhammadim, zaidudi zairai baina Jerusalem.
So you're telling me you have read the Song of Solomon and understand the Hebrew language?
Ha ha ha, well yeah, it says Muhammadim in there. That's Muhammad.
It's mentioned in the Song of Solomon, chapter number 5, verse number 16. In Hebrew, I will say, it says, Hikko mamitakim, vikullu Muhammadim, zaidudi zairai baina Jerusalem. He is most sweet. He's altogether lovely. He's my beloved. He's my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. Here, the name of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is there. It says Muhammadim.
You do know what the Song of Solomon is about, right, Mo?
Ha ha ha, yes, of course. It's an ancient prophecy about the coming of a prophet.
The Song of Solomon is a series of lyrical poems organized as a lengthy dialogue between a young woman and her lover. Where exactly is Muhammad mentioned in verse 16 of chapter 5, Mo?
Ah, at the end there, where it says lovely.
He is most sweet. He's altogether lovely. He's my beloved. He's my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. It says Muhammadim.
People just say it says lovely to hide the prophecy about Muhammad because they're scared of the truth.
Okay, so just to confirm, the correct translation of Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse number 16, is the following. His mouth is most sweet. Yes, he is altogether. Muhammad. This is my beloved, and this is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem.
Ha ha ha, yes, that's right.
Are you sure you're not just committing a phonic fallacy, Mo?
A phonic what?
A phonic fallacy. Thinking that because two words in two different languages sound alike, they must therefore mean the same thing. For example, my Spanish friend Diego exclaimed, Chile molesta the other day.
Chile molesta.
I immediately assumed he had said child molester and was therefore referring to your fake child molesting prophet. In fact, he was actually speaking in Spanish about the annoying chili in his food. Diego doesn't like chili.
Hey, Ted. Please be a bit more gentle with your words when talking about our beloved prophet. Aisha was a very mature 9 years old when Muhammad, may all of the peace and blessings be upon him, brought his al dente noodle to her spaghetti house. And no, this is definitely not a phonic fallacy. It's definitely talking about Muhammad.
But Mo, the Song of Solomon was written somewhere roughly between 971 and 931 BC, and the woman is lusting after her lover. She says things like, "My beloved is white and ruddy. His head is like the finest gold. His eyes are like doves. His cheeks are like a bed of spices. His hands are like rods of gold, and that his legs are like pillars of marble." Later on in the same book, the man who you are claiming is Muhammad then lusts after the woman, saying things such as, "Thy navel is like a round goblet. Thy two breasts are like two young roes that are twins," and so on. So, what you're meaning to tell me is that this woman, over 15 centuries prior to Muhammad being born, was lusting after him, and that Muhammad, 15 centuries later, was then lusting after her even though she was dead?
Yes, that's right.
You do also realize that the Hebrew word Mahamedim, which actually translates to lovely, not Muhammad, is derived from the Hebrew word Mahmad, meaning desire or desirable.
I guess if your idea of desirable is taking a single bath after having sex with all 9 of your wives, this could be talking about Muhammad.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. The word Mahmad is actually also used elsewhere in the Old Testament and is even used to describe Ezekiel's wife.
Yes, that's our prophet.
Okay, so just to recap, if we grant that this is really talking about Muhammad, that means that Muhammad was lusting after a dead woman in Song of Solomon, and that he was also in a homosexual relationship with Ezekiel over 1,000 years prior to his other relationships. That would mean that Muhammad is a time-traveling homosexual who is also a necrophile. A necrophile being a person who is sexually attracted to dead bodies. I mean, to each their own. Although lusting after a dead corpse is slightly unusual, considering we're talking about the greatest man in history.
But Zakir Naik agrees with me.
It says Muhammadim.
Zakir Naik, wasn't he the Islamic preacher who fled India back in 2016 amid charges of spreading hatred, money laundering, and terror-related offences?
Sounds about right.
And didn't his foundation, the Islamic Research Foundation, or IRF for short, also get banned in India in 2016 due to Naik encouraging his followers to hate other religious communities in India? From what I understand, he spread hatred against Hindus and engaged in terrorist activity in India and other nations.
Boo, but he's a medical doctor.
I am a medical doctor.
Has millions of subscribers on YouTube.
I am a medical doctor.
And people clap and cheer when he declares these indisputable facts.
It says Muhammadim.
Therefore, Muhammad is mentioned by name in the Song of Solomon, and Islam is the one true religion. Ted, would you like to convert to Islam now? All you need to do is recite the Shahada.
I think I'll pass.
Oh, hey, Diego. What about you? Would you like to convert to Islam?
No gracias, Mahoma era un abusador de menores.
Now that I can agree with.
If you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to see more videos like these, please consider supporting me on Patreon. You can also find me on X and Rumble.
Islam's not for me.